Altcoin Buzz ladies, and for today's episode I'm going to do a review on QLINK, which is a decentralized application built on the NEO platform. I'm going to go over why I feel like it's a solid project. I'm going to take a look at their roadmap, their team, and why I feel like it is a solid project to maybe research further or do your own due diligence to invest in. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor of any sort. Everything that I say is for educational purposes and is in my own opinion since it's my own financial being. Let's take a look at the current status of Bitcoin on GDAX. Last night we saw a bit of a volume pump. We hit 11K and unfortunately with that we did not break through. It was a previous resistance. As you can see here, we did not break through or stand our ground, so we fell short. Support right now is about 10,000.4. Previous support would be about 10.2. So if we fall through, we could see the next resistance or support level at below 10K. And if that happens, then we are looking at a possible bear trend if it falls below 9.3K. Hopefully that doesn't happen and we absolutely make a push for over 11.6K. That's the next resistance to then go on to 12K and maybe moon. I don't know. But for right now, the resistance that we are looking for is 11.7 and the support we are not wanting it to fall through is 9.3K. With that, let's take a look at QLINK on coinmarketcap.com. So QLINK right now is sitting at 21 cents. It's down 1.95%. And it has a market cap of 51 million. And it has a volume of 766,000. And it has a circulating supply of 240 million. So you can see the total supply is 600 million, meaning that the team itself may hold a lot more. And we see that in NEO decentralized applications and NEO itself, where a lot of the supply is held by its team. And then they release as they go on. QLINK can be traded on two markets. It can be traded on Bitcoin and NEO. With NEO, it's up 2.68. And usually with the trend that I've seen is that when there is a Red Sea going on with Bitcoin, NEO is actually green. And I've seen it a couple of times. I'm not going to confirm that that's a correlation of any sort, but from the past 3 or 4 or 5 times that I've seen Bitcoin in red, I've seen NEO and its decentralized applications in green. So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, NEO has more ground to stand on because it's being supported by the Chinese government. And it literally is the Chinese blockchain. It's their one cryptocurrency that is falling under a set regulations and is able to be pushed through. So with that, let's get into QLINK. QLINK is the world's first decentralized mobile network. It's dedicated to constructing an open source telecom infrastructure on the blockchain. So what is QLINK? Well, QLINK is basically you are able to get paid for sharing your data. An example that I use to explain QLINK to people is, say you enter a cafe or a restaurant, and the restaurant wants to provide you with their cellular data. What you can do is open up the QLINK app, which they actually have a working app at this point, and I'll show you a video clip of that later. But you can open up the app, access QLINK, click on the restaurant's network that they're providing, and pay them a certain amount for a certain amount of usage through QLC. And they can also provide advertising content if they pay more into the QLINK service. So obviously they have to sign up for a service to use QLINK, and they pay QLINK with their utility token as well. So basically QLC is used within the QLINK application to share Wi-Fi, peer-to-peer data through a decentralized source. So recently when you've been to an airport, you're subjected to their Wi-Fi or their hotspots, Boingo or Bongo, whatever service that they are offering at that time. And you pay for a certain amount through a certain usage. I know that if you're streaming anything, it costs you more. And if you're going to a high trafficked site like social media or something like that, you're actually subjected to lower data and slower speeds. And so they offer subscription plans of some sort, but basically you're paying them to use their data. And it's not the best Wi-Fi and it's not the best speed, but sometimes to use a laptop or anything of that sort, you're having to succumb to these services just to be able to stay connected. And so that's what QLINK is trying to get at. It's a telecom infrastructure that's trying to become a decentralized in that sense, where it's peer-to-peer. So you offer your data, someone latches onto that and pays you in return through rewards, which is QLC. Let's take a look at their roadmap. So recently they launched their SMS and Wi-Fi product, which is their dAPP, which I'll show you later. And they've also integrated within the IPFS system. I actually talked about IPFS in a previous video. And they're starting to launch their billing smart contracts. And if you don't know what a smart contract is, basically it's a set amount of rules and principles that you follow digitally. So there's no middleman or anything inquiring upon your smart contract. So say Johnny wants $5 worth of QLC. Well, Sarah wants to use Johnny's Wi-Fi, and for $5, that's probably a bargain over any other services that are, being allowed. And so she buys Johnny's Wi-Fi for $5, and in that's it. There's no hidden fees. There's nothing like that. They transfer the currency between one another, and now Sarah is using Johnny's hotspot that he is allowing people to use on QLINK. They are trying to publish a wallet. In 2018, with Q4, they're trying to release this base station for car manufacturers, and I'll talk about that a little later. Let's go back to their use cases. This is actually the easiest way to think of QLINK. So Terry owns a boutique hostel in Taiwan. Next to a hostel, there is a coffee shop run by Eric. Many coffee shop customers request Wi-Fi, which Eric doesn't have. Using QLINK, Terry can share his Wi-Fi hotspot with Eric's clientele. QLINK uses blockchain for the peer-to-peer transmissions of the Wi-Fi password, which means the login process is super secure. Terry will be rewarded for sharing his hotspot connection in QLC tokens, and Eric doesn't have to worry about setting up Wi-Fi equipment. So the coffee shop customers can enjoy Terry's Wi-Fi, and Eric will be able to pay Terry for Terry's use with his base station. The base station, which I talked about previously, is also mines for the QLINK when it's not running. So he has a base station, he turns it on, he gives Eric the ability for his clientele to access Terry's Wi-Fi, and when it's inactive and Terry is not allowing Eric to use the Wi-Fi, it will mine for the QLINK chain. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it very mobile so that base stations can actually be put in cars. So when you're not running Wi-Fi from your car, you can mine while driving. I thought that was actually pretty neat. So here's more of that base stations. A use case, decentralized base station deployment. Katy Perry performs her first, I don't know why they keep using all of these American pop stars. Katy Perry performs her first open concert in India. She chooses the Taj Mahal as a venue. Hundreds of thousands of fans flock to town, creating a mobile network service jam. Katy Perry's local touring company organizes for 300 QLINK base station equipped vehicles to maintain a presence in the area and ensuring the attendees can stay connected during the concert. So what QLINK is providing is a service that Uber or Lyft or taxis can provide Wi-Fi or cellular data to those customers through QLINK. That's what I would do. That's how I would use QLINK. I'd use it for a business source. I would use it if I had a little cafe or a flower shop and I wanted people to sit there, sip on coffee, look at the pretty flowers, I would put a base station in to where they could access my data and pay me in QLC and reward me for that in that sense. And then when everything's shut down and I'm not taxiing, I'm not Ubering, I'm not Lyfting, or I'm not, my business is closed, I can actually mine for the chain and be rewarded in that sense as well. So it's pretty neat. It's a valid product that has a adaptation that we don't generally see with a lot of tokens or a lot of coins. And that's why I'm kind of bullish on QLINK, because there's a working product and I see the capability of where it could go and also what it can be implemented for. They have a team. Susan Xiao is a co-founder and COO. You can actually look her up on a lot of social media platforms. She does a lot of interviews with YouTubers, and she's very active in that sense, where she's explaining QLINK to those that are interested. And the way that she breaks it down is very easy for people to understand what it is, what they're trying to do, and where they're heading. Most importantly, the chief architect, Alan Lee, is a former, oh man, I'm gonna butcher this, Huawei software engineer and multiple patent owner. Huawei is a very successful distributed virtual SIM product and is used all over Asia. He also has ties to Pine Venture Capital and Alibaba. So QLINK has a very strong team. They have Alibaba behind it. They've got Huawei, which is SIM. And there's also a little bit of background with a lot of the cellular networks in China that are looking at QLINK. So I'm going to share you the dAPP, and what they're showing you is how to register your own Wi-Fi or your own hotspot. And so they have all these test ones that they're showing you. And then once you have created the name of yours, you can put in a password. And you can put how many devices you want allowed on your individual hotspot. So they put 5. And then you can put the price, so the amount that you want these 5 devices to use to pay you. And here's the price or fee in QLC that you are willing to allow these 5 devices to pay. Then you can use the dAPP to see which owners are allowing their Wi-Fi to be used, and you see it's offline. You can put nearby, or you can do all. And then you see it online, so you can access it. It also stores your QLC within it, so it's a wallet within the dAPP. You have the transaction fees that you are paying these certain hotspots that you wanted to use, and then it'll list all the transactions that you have made. I'm heavy on QLINK for these reasons. Their team is solid. Their involvement in the community is there. They use their social media platforms and interact with all of us. They also have a roadmap which they follow, and they actually have working products that you're able to see the progress on. Especially with the YouTube video clip that I just showed you on the dAPP, we're seeing that it has involvement and you can actually use it in the near future. I also see this as being adaptable for a lot of business owners, a lot of people that are willing to share their unused data with others and be able to be rewarded in that sense as well. With the base stations, being able to mine while you're offline is also a very good incentive to use QLINK, because you're getting rewarded for using the data that you're providing and also being rewarded for allowing the base station to mine while it is offline. If you see QLINK as a good investment, do your own due diligence and do your own research before investing. Obviously, it's not of the highest volume or the highest market capitalization, but they do have a working product and they have a great team behind it. We're seeing a lot of love and a lot of positivity to this, and it's very encouraging. And so right now, we are trying to put out as much as we can, but also keep it with quality, keep it with credibility, and keep it fun in that sense, right? Like I think someone commented on my bear background. So look, I got some posters in the background now. I've moved myself, so there's a little bit in the extra. I'm also wearing this snazzy sweater that has a little bit of weird, goofy, tribal patterns on it. And so, you know, we do take your feedback and we apply it to what we're doing. We want to be as heavily invested in our community as possible. And we do see the feedback that you guys provide, and also the suggestions for the next videos that you would like to see. It's very driven by the community, and we would like to remain that way. Anyways, so we've got the Twitter, which I'm showing you right now. Give us a follow. Let us know what you're doing, what you're up to, and what you'd like to see from us. We have the podcast, which is now available on Spotify, Google Play. I think we were just added to iHeartRadio. So we're on a bunch of platforms, so check us out there. I'm mainly on the podcast with Brooke. There's going to be a couple of the other women jumping on board with me. And so you can hear us ramble on for about an hour or so about the topics that are provided within the title and the description. We also have a YouTube, so follow us on the YouTube, of course. All the podcast episodes will actually be available on the AltCoin Buzz podcast YouTube channel, and I will link that below so you guys can take a look. We are on episode 3, and episode 4 will be out soon. And last but not least, follow Jeff and the gang on the main AltCoin Buzz channel. And that's it, guys. Thanks a lot.